Hello everyone, welcome to Jewish Week Online. We're here at Anshe Shalom in West Hempstead, and we're here for a very special Yom Yerushalayim event. Tell us a little bit about what we're going to experience.
Well, tonight the West Hempstead community is doing a tremendous honor. The great honor they're honoring my father, Mr. Mordechai Schwartz, a commander in the Palmach Hero, the 4th Battalion, known as the Stormers. And it's so fitting because tonight is also Yom Yerushalayim. Yom Yerushalayim, of course, would happen in 1967, but 1967 was based on what happened in 1948. And so there was an article published in another publication about my father, and David Sher, who was from Young Israel of West Hempstead, read the article, and he started to organize the community to have this wonderful event to honor my father and his fellow Palmachnik soldiers.
So the Palmach was the really foundation of really the beginning parts of the state of Israel, even before then. How did you get involved in the Palmach?
Well, my father was a teenager, he was 17 years old, and he decided to join the Palmach after 3 weeks of thinking.
In those days, it took me 3 weeks to decide what to do. I was lying on bed 3 weeks, and then I decided to join the Palmach.
And there's a lot of interesting things that the Palmach did for the Jewish people. Can you tell us a little bit about what you did for the Palmach?
You want to repeat?
מה עשיתי בשביל פלמח?
מה עשיתי?
כן. מה פלמח עשה בשביל ישראל?
If not the Palmach, Israel wouldn't be exist. The Palmach.
So he really was, I guess, in the forefront and really organizing and securing the security.
The Palmach was the spearhead forces of the Haganah. They were the elite commandos. And they were specially trained for warfare. More than just only being trained for raids and commando missions, they were trained with the knowledge and the viewpoint that there'd be a full-scale war. So there were different chativot, there were different types of brigades. There was the Iftach, there was Negev, there was Gavati, and so forth. There's, of course, the one that brought the brunt of Jerusalem was the Harel Brigade. So their sacrifice they did was tremendous, especially they were young teenagers, and it hadn't been done in thousands of years of a Jewish army.
Now, because it really was the beginning of the Sahal and protecting of the Israeli people, what was, I guess, one of the hardest missions that your father went on?
What was one of the hardest missions you went on?
There were three big ones. One, Wadi.
Baba Wad.
Baba Wad. One.
Go ahead, Baba Wad.
One is Baba Wad. The other one is Katamon. And the third one is Teletvitsky. This is his name. Teletvitsky. This was the 3 big missions in 1948.
And it's really to your credit where you really gave the opportunity for the state of Israel to be what it is today. Because without the Palmach and their bravery, and their love for Israel, who knows where we would have been. And we're excited to hear more about your experiences, and we thank you for everything.
Also, in tradition of Palmach, my father never stops his participation, his efforts on behalf of the Jewish people. So recently, he's made a new organization with a good friend of ours, Tzvi Garber, and myself, called Shomei Am, Guardians of the Nation. And Shomei Am, Guardians of Nations, is a whole new concept in outreach and kiruv to revive the Jewish youth back to their roots again.
It's great.
In a big way, it's a continuation of the legacy of the Palmach.
And it's so important, especially now where you have a lot of different things happening in the Jewish world, where you want to continue tradition and all the important things, and it's a very worthwhile cause.
Thank you so much for coming tonight. We appreciate it very much.
We've brought together here for you tonight Mordechai Schwartz, one of the commanders and commandos in the Palmach, a fellow that should be an inspiration to us and all of us. From what I remember of his bio, at 18, he joined the Palmach and risked his life and limb to liberate sections of Jerusalem and make sure that Eretz Yisrael is under Jewish sovereignty again. I don't know about you.
May 17, 18th, my father was sent under the commandship of General, at that time was Commander Uzinakis, to lead a divisionary distraction from Yemim Mesheh up to the slopes of Hatzion to capture Hatzion. Meanwhile, next to the old quarter, in the north of it, there was a fighting done by another Palmach unit. My father leads the commandos, they're approaching from Yemim Mesheh, crossing over, coming up Mount Zion, Hatzion, and as they're approaching, daylight is about to break, and there's the gate, about to close. As an Arab is about to close the gate, my father gives the order to one of his commandos to throw the grenade. And as the grenade flies, the door hits the grenade, ricochets back, and blows a hole in the lungs of the commando. That gate was breached, but unfortunately, even though my father captured Hatzion, the next squad that came along, the next brigade that came along, couldn't continue what my father had started. Until when? 19 years later, tonight. And tonight is so significant because the truth of the matter is, tonight, so to speak, is like the Hanukkah lights. Meaning what? Chazal tell us the reason why Hashem made the Hanukkah lights was that we would remember Hashem's great victories that He gave us during the wars, because we've forgotten what we were doing. We had realized, we had thought that it was our courage and it was our greatness that made it so. But Hashem said, no, remember, it was my providence. It was my help that gave you the victory at that time. Same thing over here in 67. Those 6 days of glory started back in 48. But the glory I'm speaking about in 48, again, was not about the great weapons that we used, because we had no weapons. And it wasn't about the great tanks, because we had no tanks. It was about those teenagers. Those teenagers were willing to carry on and fulfill the words and promises of their forefathers and foremothers. I am privileged because David wanted to say, he said, Avi, bring me some medals. So I did. This is a medal from Katamon. There's only 30 people in the whole world that has this. One of them is my father.
Nothing but all together. I really was like lion. And I remember when I went to the farm, and the last thing was my heart started shaking from feeling that this is my last day. But when I start shooting, and Yemim Moshe Atzion, the bullets are flying right and left, right and left. And but when you start shooting, my courage came back to me. And I wasn't advised and didn't believe one day to another. One time before the war, before the shooting, I'm shaking. I start shooting. I feel it all. I get courage and ready to go any place. And that's the reason, one of the reasons that we conquered. Nothing was holding us. Okay?
Thank you. On behalf of the Palmach, my father, Micha Chamoni, Shon Leftov, and all the great people from Lehi, Etzel, Ergun, and also Haganah, thank you for tonight.